Hey guys, Zack here, and welcome back to another action figure review. And today, we'll be taking a look at the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom Real Feel Mosasaurus. Now, hands down, this is easily the best figure to come out of the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom line. I'm not counting the Legacy line or the Dino Rivals line or anything like that. I mean the main Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom toy line. This is hands down my favorite. Sure, there are some things that I definitely could have done differently with this figure, but for the most part, this is a very solid figure, so yeah. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into this. So first, we'll take a look at the painting on this figure, and the painting on this figure is very good. At the bottom of the side of the body right here, we have a kind of a bright shade of blue, but then that kind of slowly turns into a darker shade of blue up top, which looks very nice. And we do have some blue patterns going from this part of the neck right here, all the way to the tail here. I can't really show it on camera, but right there. This is kind of a big figure, so it's going to be a little hard for me to get most of this figure in frame, so I do apologize for that. But anyway, let's take a closer look at the head. We can see that the eyes are painted green with black pupils. The inside of the mouth is painted pink with a very glossy finish, which does look very nice. And the teeth are painted a bonish white color, which looks nice, but just be careful. The teeth at the bottom jaw kind of blend in with the, white of the bottom jaw. The paint here are actually painted a different color, but they just look the same. But yeah, speaking of the bottom jaw, the underside of the figure is painted a white color, which looks very nice. We have the Jurassic World scan code right here, and we have the new Jurassic World logo here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's there. And that is pretty much it for the painting on this figure. And the painting on this figure, very nice. At first, I wasn't really a big fan of the patterns going from the side of the body here, but after having this figure and having it for a while, I actually really like that. So the painting on this figure definitely gets a pass. Now I'll take a look at the articulation on this figure. And the articulation on this figure isn't the best, but to be fair, this is kind of a rubber figure, and some of the joints here, well, it's kind of a miracle that they did some of this to begin with, so yeah. Anyway, all of the fins can move downwards like so. It can do 360s as well, and each flipper can do that, or fin, or whatever. So, yeah. So there you go. And lastly, the mouth can open up like so. It is a little loose when it's fully open, but when it's closed, it does stay closed. There's a little notch in there that kind of keeps it from staying open, so yeah. And that's pretty much it for the articulation on this figure. The articulation on this figure, not bad. Again, this is a rubber figure, so don't expect a lot of articulation, but the articulation we got here is still very nice, so the articulation gets a pass. Now take a look at the sculpting on this figure, and the sculpting on this figure is near perfect. I absolutely love how this figure looks. Only complaint I have, just very minor, but I would have preferred the tail to be more down like so. Maybe not upwards like that, because I feel like that's a little too high in the air. I'm not saying like completely straight, but maybe something like that would look nice, but that's just me. Also, this has nothing to do with the sculpt, but this figure is actually very hollow, and what I would have done is I would have had like a plastic endoskeleton on the inside of this figure, at least in the body, because I can easily imagine this thing over time just warping. So yeah, a little endoskeleton inside the body would have been nice, but the tail feels solid as well as the head. It's just the body that I would put something in. So yeah, and again, that has nothing to do with the sculpt. That's just something that I personally would have done differently. But yeah, I guess if there's one other just minor nitpick, it does almost look like he has kind of an overbite, or she, or whatever. I don't know if the Mosasaurus is a female or not, but yeah. But other than that, sculpting on this figure is incredible. So the sculpting here gets a pass. Now I'll take a look at the detailing, and the detailing here, again, looks incredible. So taking a look at the head here, we can see that we have very nice detailing in the face there. All of the scaling and all the creases there look very well defined. And on the underside, we have a lot of creases and whatnot, which looks very nice. We do have kind of a noticeable seam, but it's whatever. Of course, we have more creasing throughout the underside of the figure. The detailing on the side of the body looks great. Each individual scale is very well defined, and even the back. This back looks a lot like a crocodile or alligator, some sort of crocodilian, and I really like how that looks. It even feels a lot like a crocodilian too, so yeah, I really like that, and that continues all the way through the tail. The fins are detailed very nicely as well. All of the scales here look very well defined, which looks nice. And if we go to the tail here, we can see that each individual scale looks very nice as well. And even at the end of the tail here, we can see that the detailing here looks incredible. So yeah, we do have a noticeable seam right here and right here, but, or right there I mean, but actually I don't think you can see that on camera. You can see a little bit there, but not really the underside of it, which looks great, or you can a little. And you can see the seam right here, but yeah. The detailing on this figure is incredible, so the detailing here definitely gets a pass. So, at the end of the day, should you get this? Absolutely. Yeah, this figure does have some very minor problems, but for the most part, I still think that this is a very solid figure, and easily the best figure from the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom toy line. This figure originally retailed for about $30, and you can actually still get it for that price on Amazon. Unfortunately, you can't really buy it in stores, so you are going to have to go to Amazon, so yeah. It is fairly cheap there, so definitely go for it. But do be careful, because I've seen some defected versions of this figure where it looks pretty bad. I've seen one where the joints are kind of sticking out of the figure, and I've also seen one where they forgot to paint the pupils for the eyes, which looks very bad, but for the most part, this is an excellent figure, and if you do get a good figure like this, then I, highly suggest it, because this figure is incredible. So, for $30, honestly, that's really good for what you're getting, so, yeah. And if you want to know how big this figure is, here it is next to Dr. Billy Grant, and this is actually a very big figure. I really like the size of this thing. A little part of me kind of understands why the tail is just sticking up in the air, because it'd be just a little too long, but still. This is a great figure, and I highly suggest that you get it. But anyway, that is it for today. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, Zack out.